way that you do. And we had an excellent speech therapist that helped us tremendously when Colby was small. She really educated us on laws and where we needed to go to get Colby evaluated. And if she had not educated us, we would not have known where to start. So she was really our saving grace in the beginning, kept us from losing our minds. But after that, once we kind of moved, we were out there kind of on our own until we met parents, other parents of children with special needs and with autism, and those are going to be your lifelines.
Okay.
They're the
So
ones that those are your go-to.
is just one type of, one type of service or one type of a resource enough to encompass? I mean, is just therapy going to be enough, or
No.
maybe just being in a social circle with other parents of kids who have autism going to be enough, or going somewhere special, like a children's hospital or somewhere that deals with autism? Is that going to be enough, or do you need to kind of hit it from several different angles? I mean, do you need a list of places to start hunting down?
Yes. There's a misconception that your school is going to be your best resource, and they're going to be your cheapest resource because they are mandated to provide therapy for your child at no cost to you. But they're going to do the bare minimum because that's pretty much all they can afford to do, time-wise and as far as funding goes. A lot of schools don't provide sensory therapy, and children on the spectrum often need sensory therapy. So that you're going to have to go to private-based, and private-based is usually almost 99% of the time they're much more aggressive in therapy. Children before the age of 3 do not qualify for therapy in public school, so you're going to have to go exclusively private, which is going to be good anyway because they're going to give you the best access, and they're going to give you the most services that you need. That's where you're going to make the most gains, is before the age of 3. So the sooner you get a diagnosis, the better your child's going to be in the long run. That's one of the reasons why Colby has not made as many gains as he could have made in the future. But you need to do not just school, you also need to do private. Social skill therapy is key now. Your child needs to learn how to work in the social world. On the spectrum, many kids do not know how to interact socially, and they really want to. I mean, children with autism are just like any other child. They want to play, they want to talk with other kids, they want to interact, they have the same goals and dreams, they play video games just like other kids. It's just that most of the time their quirks are a little bit bigger, a little bit more noticeable, but they really have the same types of quirks that every other kid has. I mean, all kids chew their fingernails, and if you notice, a lot of kids flap their hands and jump up and down and spin, but kids with autism, it's just more noticeable. So social therapy really helps them interact more, what do I want to say, helps them interact on a more basic level with kids their own age, and helps them not to be so awkward. But it's really a mystery to kids on the spectrum how to interact socially with kids their own age, and social therapy helps to take that mystery out of the out of interacting with others.
Okay. So it was a pretty big setback not having like a consolidated list of resources and a direction to go.
Yes.
I mean, you mentioned it before, but would you say you spent how much time just trying to figure out what to do after you had a diagnosis?
Um, right after we were diagnosed with Colby, we were given an evaluation report, and basically we were told, good luck, and sent on our way. Nobody could tell us how to get therapy, who to go to for therapy. We weren't given a case manager. We weren't told, school provides therapy. We weren't told anything about private therapy options. And at that time, actually, in our area of our state, there were no private therapy options at all. It wasn't until we moved to another area of the state that there was one private therapy place, and people were pouring in from all over the state at that private therapy facility. People were actually moving from parts of the state to go to this private facility. It's gotten somewhat better now, but there's still only one private facility in our part of the state. So basically how we have gotten information is from other parents, word of mouth, and that's it. I mean, there are some lists online, but it's extremely hard to find where the facilities are, because they don't have a working website a lot of the time. They don't have a working phone number all the time, because they don't stay in one place, or they're not actually there to begin with. The case managers are pretty much non-existent. Most of the time all they do is send you flyers. School practitioners are really nice and they try to be helpful, but they don't know where to go or who to talk to. And you really you're out on an island all by yourself. And the more parents you can find to talk to, the better off you're going to be, because nobody else is in this with you. You're on your own. And you spend hours and hours and hours researching.